Yes, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the day one of the workshop of research methodology. I hope am I audible to everyone? And I'm requesting everyone, please kindly join this particular poll so that we have the understanding about the type of audience to whom we are going to deliver this particular 3 days of RM session. We're just waiting for a few more minutes because there are certain technical glitches with the people are facing right now. And we sharply start by 8:35. I hope my screen is also visible to everyone. Kindly confirm the chat box. Is the screen is also visible to everyone? Is my screen is also visible to everyone? Kindly please confirm in the chat box. And I'm requesting everyone, please, whenever I send the link a day before, please log in immediately. You will get the meeting ID and password for that in order to avoid the last minute rush because of the technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, fine. Thanks for the confirmation. So I think we should start now. So good morning, namaskar, each and everyone. Thanks for your participation, first of all, in this particular 3 days of workshop. Now, as a responses which I have received for this particular workshop is around 80 plus, and even the poll is going on in front of right me. Like we have actually mixed and heterogeneous crowd, which what we were expecting basically in this particular session. So whenever like we are delivering any sort of workshop, any sort of you could say seminars or any conferences, it is very important to understand about your target audience and the same methodology or same working grounds which we always want to target whenever we are talking about the research framework or research methodology as well. Now, I think I should have to end the poll right now and we'll set the result right now that what are the different type of crowd which we have available. As you can see on my screen, okay, the occupation of the designation, if the crowd belongs to, as we have right now around 38 to 40 people have joined for this particular session as of now. The assistant professor, we have actually majority of the crowd, that is about the 47%. But important thing is that we have also student available, those who are keen to learn about this basic concept of our research methodology. Along with that, few research scholars are there, working professionals are also there, and few other people, those who are keen to know about what is RM is all about. When we come to the participants domain, actually, we have a domain basically belongs to management, and you can say the arts is again one of the part. We have commerce, you could say section also belongs to, along with science people and other belongs to in particular session. Now, the motive behind this particular poll or such, you could say, research activity is just to know the test of the crowd, just to know the feed of the crowd, that to whom you gonna to deliver your lecture. Now, whenever we are talking about this particular research methodology, I can see that there are so many workshops are going on right now when it's come to n number of workshop, I can say right now, because the people are actually like very enthusiastic to learn so many things, and they want to utilize their time about this particular process of this lockdown actually. Now, point is that whenever we are talking about this research methodology, okay, there are so many misconceptions which is created by n number of people in this particular country about the type of research, about the quality of research, and about the way to target a particular research. It's very important to understand over here about what is the exact ground. And first of all, whenever, like, whether you belongs to an assistant professor, whether you are doctorate, whether you're a working professional, it is very, very important that your base, your you could say your ground, your pillars should be as strong as possible to move ahead in a qualitative phenomena. Now, first of all, when I'm just talking about any topic, any concept about the research, it is very important that what you read. Now, as we can see that now the dynamics of this particular world, of this, we could say, decade has changing continuously, and it's having some positive grounds as well as negative grounds, that the people are more concerned about this copy paste mechanism. People are very, very, you could say you could say professional in the way that whenever you're talking about any sort of examination, you're talking about any sort of research work, it is important that what content you read, actually what content you have gone through first. Because when we talk about a research activity as well, we talk about irrespective of any discipline, whether it come to science, when we come to management, when we come to commerce, arts, whatsoever, or humanities, even humanities person we have in this particular session, it is very, very important that your ground should be as strong as you can proceed towards a particular quality research. So important thing is that the reading is compulsory. The reading is, you could say, must for any sort of proceeding whenever you are actually targeting about any research work in your life. Whether you want to do your research work just for your you could say your academic purpose, you are doing research just for your own satisfaction. So the mindset, the perspective always differ from person to person about whenever we are talking about any research pedagogy. Now, the important understanding about this particular research work, firstly, we have to go with the basic understanding what this research is all about. Research is something which I personally actually give a, you could say, draw a line about that. It's all about the self-critical inquiry. Now, for an example, during this COVID, as you can see that the people are actually running behind about doing a research about COVID and its impact on different dimensions. My point is that whenever you're talking about any paradigm, any, you could say, any sort of transformation which is going on, any sort of, you could say, working methodology you want to target, it is important that your critical inquiry or the target which you're gonna to do, it should be clear in your mind about the mindset. Because what I've seen that we have research scholar available, even assistant professors are available. Whenever we target about any research work from, I think there are most of them are assistant professor in this particular session, we always have some, we could say, foundation or pressure from the college that you have to submit at least 10 research papers in a academic year. You have to submit 20 research papers in an academic year, whatsoever the ground it would be. The important thing is that you must have some interest in your research work or research topic, first of all. Like what I can see, what I've observed since last 10 years of my academic career, even the research scholar, even you could the assistant professor, or even any of the ground I'm talking right now, I'm not criticizing anyone right now. My point is that whenever you are starting your work, especially student, I'm just focusing to you. Whenever you are starting your research work, important thing is that the topic of research or the dimension of research must be of your interest only. You cannot be, you could say, get enforced by anyone to choose any of the topic in which you do not have any interest right now, but you are working just because your guide, your you could say your faculties or your top management are enforcing you to do so. No, please. First of all, it's important that self-critical. Self means the topic should be chosen, topic should be decided by your own. The theme of the topic, the, you could say, ground of the topic should be of the area of interest of the researcher. Now, first of all, we talk about research. Research is something which anyone, like we talk about any ground or any, you could say, a position it belongs to. It's all about nothing but to find something new, to just upgrade your knowledge, to just go in depth and making your hands dirty about each and every topic. So something like that, for example, if I don't know about thermodynamics right now, being a management background faculty, definitely I would be very keen to know about what is thermodynamics all about. So it is a very new topic for me. So in order to upgrade my knowledge, it's important that you must have interest area in that particular regard. So the basic fundamental ground about any research is nothing but to upgrade your knowledge, to go in depth analysis, and just to make your, you could say, hands dirty in all such research work. That is all about the research is all about. And research is not always a one day affair, first of all. Research is a gradual process. Okay, because what I can see in the scenario, the people are actually selecting topic on Monday and they are completing their research, you could say, work on Saturday. How is it possible actually? Because practically on ground level, on technical ground, it is not possible that you're selecting topic on Monday, you're completing the topic on Saturday. Within 6 days, I can understand, because if you talk about discipline like languages, if you talk discipline like the conceptual paper, it is possible to complete. But again, when you talk about the review of literature, when you talk about the different term, technical, you could say, ground which we need to cover in a research paper, quality research paper I'm talking right now, it is not at all possible to cover your paper within 3 to 4 days period of time. After that, ultimately, whenever we're talking about any research work won't give you any perfect solution, any perfect, you could say, parameter which you're going to find, because it's an ocean. It's an ocean. You can just pick a drop of a particular topic and start working on it. You cannot think that, because you cannot cover each and everything in a single dimension, because people do have that, you could say, patience level. People do always target in such regard, and they just expand their research paper in such a manner they won't be able to complete their work on a stipulated time which is being allotted by the university or by the institutions. Like we're saying with the PhD, if we talk about, first of all, your mindset should be very clear. What is the solution which you wanted to attempt for that? What is the basically problem which you wanted to discuss in your research? And somehow it is very important that you cannot cover the ocean. You can cover the drop of a particular ocean to just summarize, to conclude your research topic or your thesis work. Okay. Now, the next part about any research work is all about the retrospective study. Now, anyone please can tell me about what is retrospection about? What is retrospective study in the research? I hope am I audible to everyone? I can see the chat box in front of me. The house would be open, the session would be open for discussion and the one-to-one conversation at the last after 9:30. So please, any one of you can tell me about what is retrospective study in the context of research. I just want this session to be more interactive so that we have a great insights from the audience as well. Yeah, doing research on the past events, very good. Okay, ethnographic research, very fantastic. Yeah, previous studies, extremely fantastic. Now, when we talk about retrospective study, like I'll just quote one example over here first of all. For an example, if I am going to just work on the COVID-19 testing kit methodology, okay, like as we can see that this sort of pandemic or this sort of epidemic with the world is facing right now, we always have certain sort of past ground about, you could say, the French flag, and we have a different type of disease which is generated like HIV. If we talk about, the scientists always come up with something new, and how they would be able to find out, like we talk about this particular COVID right now. Again, in the study, the things are going on right now. It's under process, because whatever claim which is being you could say, which is given by the different international or national organizations, which is not being true as of now, because as we can see that it's only 3 to 4 months period of time the research on this particular COVID-19 has started. But whenever, like we talk about the type of testing kit, the vaccination which we need to prepare for the COVID-19, the important thing is that we have to look in the past about, because whenever this sort of, you could say, epidemic or pandemic has been arises in the world, what sort of ground which was created by the previous study. So retrospective study is nothing but basically, whenever we are conducting any research work, it is very important that you have to go with the past study with the related topic, in order to understand that what your research paper is gonna to deliver, want to actually conclude at the end of the particular research work or any research methods. Now, retrospective is all about the historical ground. Historical ground, let us, for example, if I wanted to analyze about the purchasing behavior of an individual during COVID-19, online behavior, online purchasing behavior. So definitely, first of all, what I have to do, I have to just go in the past about the what are the grounds, what are the, you could say, points or the data collection method which is being already covered by a particular researcher in purchasing behavior methodology. And you simply need to mold your topic in the COVID-19 perspective. So research study or historical study, which is very, very important, that is a part of review of literature actually, because review of literature or retrospective study always guide to the researcher about what type of methodology, what type of data collection method, and what sort of technical ground which we need to give in our research paper. And it will always give, you could say, a different type of, different dimension of thinking, different way of thinking about a research paper, because it will clear your confusion. It will just actually omit all those, you could say, the loopholes, all the, you could say, the lacunas which is being created while starting any of the research topics. Now, the next part which we have about the basic concept. Now, to my student, those who are new to this particular subject, just kindly bear with this hypothesis part. Okay. First of all, as I told you that whenever you are selecting any research topic, the important thing is that first of all you must know about the prior knowledge or observation. Now, what is prior knowledge or observation is all about? It is very important that, let's suppose if I belongs to finance background and I wanted to do the study on stock market fluctuation during this COVID-19. Now, when I'm just going to conduct this particular research, if I decided to conduct on this particular research topic, it is very, very important that the research study which I gonna to convey, which I gonna to conduct, first of all, I must have the base knowledge of particular topic. If I belongs to finance, definitely I have a knowledge about the share market fluctuation. I'm observing this trend since last 5 to 10 years. So I can do some research on the topic about the impact of COVID-19 on share market. So first of all, it's very important that whenever you are conducting any type of research, the important thing is that the prior knowledge is extremely compulsory. The base knowledge is extremely compulsory whenever you are conducting any type of research work. Along with that, your observation. Now, as we can see that there are many studies related to psychology, human behavior, which is based on observation. Like we always keen observer, you are basically an active observer or passive observer. The important thing is that the observation method always plays an extremely crucial role whenever we talk about any type of research. For an example, let us suppose this COVID-19 period is basically evolved the ICT tools, and there are a lot of online classes going on at the school level, also at the university level. Now, if you need to observe the behavior of the student while having these online classes, this is again the one of the, you could say, root, or one of the, you could say, scratch one, from where you can identify, from where you can find out about this particular research methodology. So observation is one of the, you could say, inception, one of the, you could say, root way to find out your research topic. Along with that, the prior knowledge, then only you can move further about any research topic. After that, it's important to set the hypothesis. Now, hypothesis basically those who do not belong to this particular background, do not have any knowledge about this particular part. Hypothesis is nothing but basically whenever we wanted to, you could say, check any sort of research problem in our study, whether the particular research problem or research question, like for example, if I have to identify about the share market fluctuations. In that case, what I will do, I'll just set some research question that what I'm going to conclude, what I'm going to cover in this particular topic, my research objectives, my research question. So the, you could say, setting of a research question and you could say checking of their verifiability, its validity, that is the part of basically your hypothesis part. Now, hypothesis testing, definitely we have a lot of statistical tool, hypothetical tool available like t-test, z-test, chi-square, ANOVA, f-test, whatsoever. It totally depends on type of study you are actually targeting out. So hypothesis testing, and ultimately you always come to a conclusion that is about the part of your research topic. Like I told you that if I don't know about thermodynamics and I start reading that part, again, I just focus on what the reading of that part. So starting reading about a particular topic, will definitely give me a new knowledge, a new concept about any research topic. So this is all about what is this particular portion of this research methodology and this particular how this particular research work always goes on. The next part, there are always, like we talk about the business research or the market research methodology, there are the companies, those who are always target their research work always on these three dimensions. The first one is product oriented research or product oriented firms. What is the research methodology for the production oriented firm? And next one is about the market oriented firm. Now, important thing is that whenever you're targeting about any sort of research work, it's important that what type of knowledge or what type of information which you want to gather from the market. The first one is product oriented firm. In the case of product oriented firm, like for an example, if you talk about fashion industry or boutique industry, actually, we talk about like Manish Malhotra's dresses, the different, you could say, designer are actually designing the dresses for the celebrities or the, you could say, HNIs, or for the topmost businessman in this particular, in this India, if you're talking about in the context right now. The important thing is that whenever they are concerning about this research work on a product, because if the particular company is focusing on the product methodology, the important thing is that they have to focus on the technicality of the product and the demand of their customer, what they are actually looking for, the expecting from the customer. So that is all about the product oriented firm and how they can target. When we talk about production oriented firm, whenever we talk about production oriented firm, like for example, we talk about processing firm, these factories, the manufacturing industries, all such industries must have to focus on their process, their inputs. Like we talk about the raw material, the machinery, the man, or the idea, the innovation which they wanted to target out. So in the case of production oriented firm, they always have to you could say focus on the different production items. Production item means all their inputs we are talking right now, their processing portion we are talking about. So that is all about the production oriented firm which they have to target. See, I'm just going to discuss about the mindset of different industry, about how they can target their research work in their organization. Next one is market oriented firm. Now, market oriented firm is always common that you have to focus on the customer, because customer is a king. And what the customer is expecting, what the customer is demanding, you are obliged, you are actually forced to launch such product in the market. Like we talk about like Apple always come with new innovation, new technology every year. Like recently they come with the particular procedure of their HomePod. Okay, the HomePod basically it is the replica or you could say competition with the Alexa, or with the, you could say, the different type of portable speakers which we always talk about. So such sort of, you could say, the innovation, the progress which the company always target about, that is all about your market oriented study, which is totally customer based, what the customer is expecting from the company. The next part, whenever we are targeting about any research work, it is important that the limitation which you always must know, limitation in terms of your cost, up to what extent you can actually give the financial consideration in your research work. Like for example, if you want to publish your research paper in a highly impact index journal costing rupees 50,000, is it possible for you, or a particular journal costing about 500 rupees? Okay, so there's a huge difference, because there are certain limitations which we always need to keep in mind. We cannot target everything. The important thing is that the limitation in terms of time constraint. Like as I told you that, because as we know that, let's suppose we have a conference going on in the month of July. Okay, so we have a time constraint, like the paper submission date is at about 25th of June. So from today, that is about 31st May onward till 25th of June, we have at least 20-25 days available to target about their research work. So time constraint is very important. Do you have the sufficient time to conduct your research, to conclude your research? Very first part. If yes, you can proceed further. If no, definitely you have to stop working on this particular topic. Second one, availability of data. Now, many of time we always choose certain topics, and such topic, as I can see that the information either the secondary information or the primary information. Like there are, like for an example, let's suppose if I have to conduct a research on some, you could say some aspect which is related to secrecy of the government, the confidentiality of the government data. I don't think so is it possible that you would be able to analyze about this particular information. Okay, so in such a condition, when the information or the data is not available, that if it is not available, definitely you have to stop working on that particular research topic. But if the data is feasible, data is already available, definitely in that regard, you can always target about such research. So please focus on the no topic. No topic is all about the constraints which we face whenever we are just targeting any type of research work. Once you have the data is available, you have a time available, you can go for nature of decision. I mean, the type of research which you're going to do. You can go for descriptive research, you can go for analytical research, qualitative research, quantitative research, whatsoever type of research we're going to cover in today's topic only. So nature of decision, that what sort of strategical tool, what sort of methodology which you're going to adopt for the particular research work. If you can proceed further, if you have that knowledge about such things, you can proceed further, that is yes. If no, definitely you have to stop working on that particular research topic. Next one is all about the benefit versus cost. Now, whatever research topic which I have selected right now, and I have started working on such research paper, do we have certain sort of conclusion or the, you could say some outcome which is useful for my knowledge, useful for my, I could say, target proposition which I have set? If so, definitely you can proceed further. And no, then you have to stop working on that. Now, it is important that whenever we are conducting any type of research, the limitation must be known to the individual about the research work, because most of the research which I see, most of the PhD which I can actually go through, important thing is that you are basically not focusing on your limitation. That what sort of limitation which I have, if the limitation is basically mishandling my research work, definitely you won't be able to complete a research work on a proper node, on a proper you could say time frame which you have decided upon. And if everything is yes, definitely you can focus on your research work properly. So important thing is that the constraints, the limitation is very, very important whenever we are doing any type of research work. Now, next part, we have about the theory and concept. Now, when I'm just talking about, it's a very important discussion. Whenever we talk about any theoretical aspect, we talk about conceptual aspect. Like when I'm talking about the faculty, those who are joined for the session, those who belongs to language and literature, definitely they use this particular term synonymously. Okay, so theory and concept in the context of research is very, very different. Like anyone, if you can tell me about the basic understanding about what is theory and what is concept, if you can just focus on this particular topic. What is theory and what is concept? If I think, am I audible to everyone? You can just post your message in chat box. I can see your messages. Yeah, any idea to anyone about this theory and concept? Any one line definition if you can quote over here about what is theory and concept? Theory is a set of concept. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Raj. Anyone, please? What is theory and concept? I just want to know the inputs from the audience as well. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Anyone, please? Yeah, fine. Okay, so let's have a look about what is theory and concept in a very, very simple language. Now, when I'm just talking about theory and concept, theory is basically collection of explanation. Collection of explanation is all about, like we talk about gravity, gravitational force. This gravitational force decided, or you could say derived by the Newton, is not because of one incident, because it's a years of study which is being conducted in order to conclude that this is the scientific theory which we gonna to implement in this particular world and which is acceptable unanimously. But when I'm just talking about a particular part of that study, like we'll talk about the research work which is going on this particular gravitational force at the time of Newton, if one of the aspect, one of the, you could say, miniature, if you are selecting and working on it, is all about the concept. Concept is a part of theory. It's very important part. Okay, like for an example, let us suppose if I'm talking about this vaccination right now, which is going on in the concept about how we can develop a vaccination for this COVID. Okay, The theory explanation is all about the past study which is actually done on the various type of flus generated in this particular world. On that particular part, if we are taking one of the part, and like we are just actually, because as we can see that a lot many countries are actually claiming that we have designed a vaccination, we have find out the solution for that. So what they are doing, they are working on a concept based on a theory. They are working on the concept based on the theory. So it is important that the theory is the collection of the explanation, and in a particular topic, if you are selecting a miniature of that part, that becomes your concept. Next, theory always tested, proved, or disapproved. Because, like, so for example, there are a lot of research work is going on in science, in humanities, about the human behavior, about, you could say, arts, about this market fluctuation in the finances. Whatever topic or research work which we're going to conduct, it is not every time it is possible that whatever topic you have decided, it must always give the expected conclusion, expected outcome. So theory may be tested, theory may be proved, or it may be disapproved as well. But concept which we are taking, like for an example which I've given you, the type of fluid which we have in the past, and we are selecting one of the study for that, which is one of the miniature out of it. So important thing that need to be tested. You are actually working on that particular ground. These are the formula, these are the combination which we can try in order to prepare a vaccination for the COVID. So this is a way that the theoretical concept may be tested, may be proved, or may be disapproved as well. It totally depends on the effort which is being put forward by the researcher. The next one, theory always supports some significant evidences, because it is, you could say, practically implied, practically executed, and practically it is feasible in terms of ground reality. But when talk about concept, like let us for example, if I'm going for gardening part, okay, if I have to, let us suppose, do gardening at my home, I have a big balcony available in front of me. The concept of this gardening and the understanding about that particular agricultural concept, about the type of seed, the quality of the soil which we have to use, and the environment which you have to provide, all these concept or all these understanding, that becomes your theory part. But if you wanted to design your own garden in your house, that would become your concept, because you are designing the things as per your own best effort. That is all about the theory and the concept differences. Theory is always organized. Let's suppose, for example, if I have to clean my house, okay, so cleaning of house, definitely there are so many methodology which we can follow. But cleaning of house, definitely there would be certain methods, certain, you could say, ground, certain scientific way, how we can do this dusting, how we can do this particular, the cleaning work at my home. But everyone do have their own way to do this cleaning at your house. Everyone do have their own way to manage their kitchen in the houses. So if you are selecting one of the part of that, it become your concept. But if you are just selecting a particular miniature from approved, or you could say disapproved theory, that is all about your theoretical concept. That is a very basic difference about the theory and between the concept. Now, why I'm discussing theory and concept in this particular session, the important thing is that the theory and concept always plays extremely crucial role whenever I'm talking about the type of research which we have. The first of all is phenomena. Phenomena is something which we wanted to take into consideration for our research. Like for example, if I wanted to observe the behavior of you could say, the teenagers in terms of their screen time, which is being increased due to this COVID-19, they are complete 24/7 lockdown in their home. This is a phenomena which I have. So in order to understand this phenomena, what we will do, definitely we will observe the behavior of these teenagers, that whatever activity which they are following it out, the change in their behavior, change in their eating habits, their health issues, whatsoever, observation. Then you decide your perception about the particular topic. Then you interpret this particular part in terms of language, that how I can basically, with the help of phenomena, observation, the perception, how we can convert that into form of languages. And the language become thought, and the thought become your concept. Because on that concept, you always want to try that whether this particular study which I'm going to conduct about the behavior of the teenagers during this lockdown and about their screen timing because of the laptop, because of the gaming, because of the cartoon which they watch. So that become your concept. Now, once we decided a concept, once we decided topic which we're going to conduct, first of all, we have to create a construct. Construct is all about the method or the routine or the blueprint in which we wanted to conduct our research study. Then after that, you start collecting the information, you design your Google Forms, you may go for secondary data research as well. And ultimately, if you are coming to any conclusion, and if the conclusion is proven as well, that particular conclusion may become your theory aspect. I hope this part, why we're discussing about this particular theoretical aspect, what is theory and what is concept, I think with the help of example, you can easily understand what is the theory, what is the phenomena, how we started from the phenomena, and we reached to a particular theoretical aspect. Same in the example, I could talk about share market fluctuation during this COVID-19. The important thing is that we have to, first of all, watch the phenomena, right? What the situation is all about. And from that phenomena to that observation, perception, language, concept, and working on the concept will you could say, give you a guidance about the theoretical aspect. After that, we have types of research. Now, as I'll just give you the brief summary about the type of research, and we have just bifurcated this research on different grounds, first of all. So we have basically this type of research available in the research study, and make sure the type of research is basically endless. And if you just go through with all type of research at the moment of time, you will get confused, because at least there are 20 to 30 bifurcation of type of research which we have in the research methodology. Okay, so I'm going to cover the basic part, the root part about what is research types is all about. So as you can see that there are basic three grounds which we have. The first one is qualitative research, research by practitioners, and quantitative research. So we'll just focus on these three grounds, and accordingly we will proceed further. The type of research which I'm going to cover in this particular session, this is about the fundamental, applied, descriptive, analytical, quantitative, qualitative, conceptual, empirical, and exploratory. So this is the part which we're going to cover in this particular type of research. Now, when I'm just discussing about this type of research, the first part is all about the pure form, basic form, or fundamental form of research. Now, for my dear student, those who have joined over here and those who are new to this particular topic, fundamental research or the basic research is nothing but whenever you want to search any knowledge about, let's suppose I told you the example about thermodynamics, knowledge about how the particular universe is designed, knowledge about the 1920 epidemic which was actually initiated, and all these particular, you could say, general concept. If you wanted to do your research for your knowledge sake, you want to just upgrade your knowledge, you have certain curiosity to know about such people, like let's suppose some behavior, like it was, for example, if you talk about HR practitioners over here, they always talk about the human behavior, we talk about the cognitive theory, we talk about finance people, they always go for research regarding the particular share market, about the banking, you could say the performances. So each and every topic, whenever you wanted to just upgrade your knowledge, whenever you are actually concerned about to know something about a particular topic, in that particular case, that is the basically type of fundamental or basic research, where just you wanted to know about a particular topic. That is about the searching for new knowledge, the basic part of about research. And whenever we are discussing about this basic type of research, this is the base of your applied research as well, which I'll tell you in the next slide. Now, the basic example which you talk about this particular fundamental research, like to know about universe, how the universe formed, you will just go with a different book, the e-content which is available on the internet. So just to upgrade your knowledge, that type of research is called your fundamental research. Discovery of America, classical conditioning theory in the case of HR aspect you're talking about, in the case of environmental aspect, to know about effect of global warming, or how the global warming has been created, different sources of that. So just to upgrade your knowledge, that part is called your fundamental, basic, or pure form of research. Now, for example, let us suppose if I have to do research on FDI, that is foreign direct investment in India. So first of all, I need to know about what is FDI, what are the type of FDI, how a particular company can enter into FDI. This is the basic form of research, because I am just upgrading my knowledge right now. I just wanted to know how I can actually enter in such sort of knowledge mechanism. Now, important thing is that whenever we are upgrading any knowledge, after that, if I want to know about the ill effect of FDI, about the effect of FDI on, you could say, small companies, or you could say domestic organization, effect of FDI on the balance of payment of the particular country, or whatever the, you could say, ultimately the progress effect or the growth effect could directly hamper this particular country. So in that case, once you have the basic knowledge about a particular topic, that is FDI, after that there is, you could say, a lot many questions which will come in your mind about why this one, how this will happen, what is the consequences if I'll select this particular methodology, how I can guide the government about the different FDI components. So all that type of research is called your applied or practical research. Once you have the knowledge about the basic term, the basic, you could say, phenomena about the FDI, about talk about the human behavior, about the cognitive theory, about the financial market. After that, whatever the question which arises in terms of why, because you are now, you could say, you could say, inclined yourself in more in-depth analysis about a particular knowledge, that is about the applied or a practical research. There's a few examples over here. Like you talk about how to improve crop production. I know that because first of all, I need to understand what is crop production is all about, how the crops can be evolved, how the, you could say, the particular quality of crop or the quantum of crop which I can create it. After that, I can actually, because once I have the base knowledge about that, after that, I can just go on its practical aspect, about the practical implication about a particular topic. Like how to, you could say, improve the student concentration as one of the biggest challenge for the academician right now. The important thing is that first of all, you need to understand what are the different traits of human behavior, what are the different traits of student behavior. Okay, after that, you can work on the practical grounds of that. So I think fundamental research and the applied research are the connected one. And fundamental research is all about upgrading your knowledge, and applied research is all about, once you have the fundamental knowledge, you can go further in-depth analysis about a particular topic. The next one is descriptive and analytical research. Now, when I'm just talking about the descriptive research is all about based on marketing survey. I'll just give an example. It's better to you could discuss about this particular topic, what a descriptive research is all about. Let us suppose, for example, if I wanted to know about the behavior of an individual whenever they are selecting any web series content. There are a lot many, you could say, web series content available, web series platform available like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar, whatsoever. If I want to conduct a research, a study on that, if I want to make a survey on that the number of people, which particular mode they are selecting, what are the content which they like over there, which genre which they basically use for, which language which they always prefer to watch over there. So whenever we have any type of marketing research study where we do not have any control over the variable, because the variable is totally based on the market study, because we cannot control the type of variable which we have, because in this particular study, which we always talk about, who means what is target audience, where the geographical boundary which we want to cover, and when we need to conduct the study, and what will be the effect of these three items about the who, where, when in relation to what we are actually going to find out. Like if I want to find out about the effect of web series on teenagers, that is my what actually is all about. But how this what is created, it is totally based on to who, teenagers, where it is suppose MP. We talk about when, it is about the time frame which you have to decide about the particular study. Let us go COVID-19. So COVID-19 would be my when actually in that particular time, the time frame for which I want to conduct my research study. When talk about analytical research. Now, as I've discussed about this particular part about this research study is all about on the web series. We have collected the information as well. Now, after collecting the information, it is very important that the information which I collected, I have, you could say, certain conclusion out of it. The number of, you could say, the maximum people watching Netflix, one of my conclusion. They are basically watching the Indian movies or basically the series which is being launched in India, one of the conclusion. So definitely you will set certain question out of it. Now, when I just want to know the study about why they are watching this particular Netflix, why they are only watching this, you could say, Indian episodes or Indian series. Okay. In that particular category, we always talk about this particular why and how, because when I'm going to more analytical, more in depth about my conclusion, which I have derived from my descriptive study, that would be the part of your analytical part. It may be, you could say, a field study. It may be study based on a certain community, or this study may be on the basis of observation as well. The example which I told you about the behavior of your student, behavior of a child when it comes to screen time during this lockdown. each and every about whenever you're focusing on why and how, it is all about analytical. And whenever you're focusing on the what, which is based on who, where, and when, it is all about your descriptive research. The next part, which we have about the qualitative and quantitative research. Now, in this particular case, when I'm talking about, yeah, Mr. Munmun, basically we can go for secondary, that is on the published data as well. The next one we have, that is about the qualitative and quantitative research. Now, qualitative research, when I'm talking about quality is all about human behavior, because whenever we wanted to analyze the subjective content or the behavioral aspect about any research topic or about any research study, that topic would come under the category of your qualitative research. Because in the qualitative research, we are always focused on the behavioral analysis about a particular topic, behavior about the investor in the share market during this COVID, behavior of teenager because of this COVID-19, behavior of student irrespective about this particular portion of online studies. So all these examples which comes under the category of your qualitative research, where we are observing certain phenomena and we are interpreting in our own language. And it is always unstructured actually, because whenever you're observing certain phenomena, when you actually start working on it, the important thing is that this particular research study always, you could say, I could say, rise about a new question every time. Like you conducted 10 questions in your questionnaire about conducting a research on the behavior of student during this COVID-19 because of online classes. Once you start studying this component, definitely there are some new question arises in your mind. So you may include that part as well in the part of a study, which is actually realized when the researcher actually implied that particular research objective in the reality. So, and when you come to quantitative research is totally based on numbers. It is totally based on the hypothetical or statistical too. Like for example, the movement of the share market since last 2 months. As you can see that the share market will go up and down. There is, you could say, the hurdles which has been created in the share market since last 2 months. Now, the quantitative research, which is totally based on number, where we are observing the phenomena or the incident, which is totally based on the results which is taken out from a particular study only. It is about the quantitative research. Is all. For example, if I wanted to observe about the blood pressure of a particular 10 patient, those who are in my hospital, and I'm just taking a reading on morning, afternoon, and evening for the particular, you could say, deceased person. In that case, that type of research study where we are always, you could say, focused on the numbers which we can actually fetch from any of the research study. So that type of research study is always called your quantitative research study. Now, next one is all about the conceptual research study and empirical research study. Now, when I'm just talking about the conceptual research study, concept is all about certain scientific proof, theoretical proof, which is already available. Now, on a particular scientific proof which is already available, and if we are analyzing or starting our research work on the basis of that new concept or the new study as well, so that part would be the part of your conceptual studies. I already explained you about what is concept, what is theory. Okay. And when I'm talking about empirical research study, in the case of empirical research study, we are actually just creating certain experimental design. We are actually just going for certain sort of, you could say, experimentation by actually giving some hit and trial method or trial and error method, whether we are in a condition to prove that component or not. Like we talk about, let us suppose, for example, the scientific, the methods, or you could say any sort of model which we always prepare, whether it belong to HR, whether it belong to finance, the Basel study which we talk about. In all such study, whenever we are creating any model, whenever we are creating any scientific proof, before that there are 1,000 times the studies were going on and it was failed completely. Okay, we talk about a lot of satellite mission which we say. It is all based on experimental research, that whether the particular, you could say, component which we have designed, and from that empirical is totally based on the concept. And once you pick the concept, and if you're working on that particular concept, and whether this particular concept is practically feasible, practically proven or not, it's all about your experimental research. Like right now, if you can see that the COVID-19, the study of Ayurveda is basically focusing on how with the different combination we can actually find out about this particular procedure of your experimental research. Now, in that case, what they are doing, they are just experimenting on daily basis, because the government has given the right to different organizations right now about how they can actually work on the different experimentation. They can go for different type of, you could say, combination through which they can boost the immunity of the deceased person. So that is all about the conceptual and the empirical research study. Sakti Ranjan Das, actually, I'm just taking your question right now. So research may be combination of both, quantitative as well as qualitative. If I'm just going for the behavior, and if I'm just collecting some information out of it, which is based on number, so that research may be combination of both. Because whatever research type we are discussing right now, the research type may be combination of two or more than two types of research methodology. I think Mr. Sakti Ranjan Das, is it clear to you? Yeah. And no, qualitative research may be, I think Litan Prasad, qualitative research may be based on primary data as well. Okay, because if I'm just observing about the behavior of the consumer, behavior of the student, behavior of the child, when it's come to different phenomena. So we are just, what we are doing, we are just actually collecting some information as well with the help of, you could say, various survey, various technique, interviews, group discussion. So that may be quantitative as well. Okay, so it is not about that it is totally based on second data. The data may be primary as well in that case. The empirical study is totally based on experimentation. Okay, and quantitative study basically is all about the fact available with you, and you are working in depthly. We are actually going more and inside about a particular topic. I think Mr. Litton, am I clear with this, your doubt as well? Yeah, thank you. So the next part. I will take the doubt, please. I think just let me finish this particular session and I'll just take the doubt one by one. Okay. The next one, we have the research process now. Now, in the case of research process, first of all, we need to understand about the how we can just create the blueprint of our research. I'm sorry for that. I'll take the question at the last so that there won't be any hindrances to the audience actually. Whenever I'm talking about this particular research process is all about your blueprint, your, you could say, complete journey from where you want to start from the day one and where ultimately you're going to reach after this 20-25 days of time or the period which you set for your research work. So this is all about the research process. Now, in the case of research process, we do have certain steps available. Definitely we'll discuss one by one what this research process is all about. Now, when I'm just talking about this research process, we do have certain guidelines, certain, you could say, methodology which we need to follow, starting from your research problem, on which topic you wanted to conduct your research. Your research objective should be clear in mind, that what ultimately you wanted to conclude from your research topic. That is all about the research objective. Now, once you said, for example, again, I'm just taking the example right now about, well, let us suppose if I have to conduct a research study on the mobility of the people due to COVID-19 of air travel. Okay, so in that regard, definitely I have certain question in my mind about the sanitization, about the process, how they can commute from airport to their house, what are the safety precautions which the government is doing, what are the safety precautions which the airlines which going to follow. N number of questions would be in your mind, I think so. And this N number of questions always create your research objectives, your research problem. Once you have the question in your mind, if you do not have any question, please go for literature review. You have to read something first, and then only you would be in a condition to find out your research problem, your research question. After that, you start collecting your information. Information may be from primary sources, maybe from secondary sources. After that, once you have collected the information with the help of survey, with the help of secondary information available in the journal, in the books, in the e-library, whatsoever, after that, you will just finalize your research objective. These are the three basic objectives which I'm going to cover. Like, for example, if I'm just focusing on that airline example, if I'm going to conduct my survey on the safety precautions taken by the airlines. Okay, so like when you talk about that particular escorting, when you talk about the movement of that you could say passenger from the airport terminal to the airplanes, aircraft, whatsoever. In that, about a safety precaution which is given to the individual whenever they are on board or whatsoever. So first of all, you have n number of questions in your mind. Once you start collecting the data, it is important that you should be concise, you should be precise, you should be pinpointed and focused about your research work. That is about the problem definition. After that, you will basically sort out about your research design. Research design is all about the statistical tool which you want to apply for, the type of, you could say, the sampling technique which you want to offer, the scaling technique which you want to offer. So that is all about your research design methodology. Now, once you collected the information with the help of primary or secondary sources, definitely you move to the editing and coding of your data. Editing and coding, nothing but basically, for an example, if you are taking the information from with the help of Google form, you may actually get the information in the form of tables, in the form of pie chart, in the form of, you could say, the paragraphs or whatsoever. So you have to mold, you have to transform that information into meaningful form as per the requirement of the audience. Then you will process that with the help of statistical tool. You will interpret the result, that what is the actual conclusion of your research, and ultimately you will just generate your research report in the designated format or in the standard format which is being required as per the field. Because when we talk about the law discipline, science discipline, management, arts, humanities, each and every discipline or domain do have their own way of doing the research, but the basic fundamental always revolve around this particular topic. After that, we'll take this particular, all this step one by one, how to go for this particular part. The first, as I told you, about research problem, the number of research question which always comes in your mind about, but important thing is that you have n number of questions in your mind, but you have to concise, you have to be very, very precise and pinpointed and focused about whatever research problem you can actually going to formulate in a research study. Because I told you, you cannot cover the ocean. I told you example, you can cover up, you could say, a drop of the ocean about a research work. So defining research problem is one of the primary and primitive stage about any research field or research studies. The second one is extensive literature survey. As I told you, that reading is compulsory. Whenever you wanted to find out about the research gaps, you find out about the methodological gap, you find out the statistical gap, which is the past study which we have, and what are the improvement which we can do. For example, there are n number of study which is being done on the shopping behavior of women, for an example, n number of study which we have in the market. But what new you wanted to actually conclude, what you knew you wanted to actually target about a research problem, first of all, you have to go for literature survey. You have to read first what are the past studies which are already being done, and with the help of that study, with the help of that particular base, what is new and what are, you could say, the gap which we have in the past research study, and that we can conclude, that we can implement in our research work. Then we have a development of working hypothesis. Hypothesis nothing but basically whatever research problem which we said, whether it is practically feasible, whether we are actually able in a condition to come to the certain conclusion or not, or you could say some sort of focal point which is being decided with the help of research problem, whether we are in a condition to conclude our research or conclude our, you could say, topic. Because sometimes what happens basically, whenever you're designing any questionnaire, whenever you're designing any, you could say, data, basically the field study, basically I'm talking right now. Sometimes it happens that, let's suppose you set 3 objectives, and for the to prove the 3 objectives, you have, let's suppose, 15 questions in your questionnaire. Sometimes it happens that your questionnaire or the number of questions which we have does not match with the research objectives. So this is basically the problem, you could say the stage of working hypothesis. First of all, it is important that whatever research objective you are setting, it must be correlated or mapped with your number of questions or number of questions which you're going to ask to your respondents. The next one is preparation of a research design. As I told you, type of research, you have to decide that which type of research which you're going to conduct. So preparation of research design is all about decision about your type of research, decision about your sampling technique, scaling techniques, the statistical tool. Everything would come in the case of research design, and it is only possible once you have the strong base with the help of literature review, your research problem properly defined. Because if there is an ill-defined research problem, you will always face the problem till the conclusion of your research work. The next part which we have, that is about the sample design, as I told you, because you cannot cover the whole population, you cannot cover the ocean, you cannot cover the all respondent available in this universe. You have to take a miniature or the sample or the part of the population. That is again very important part, because sampling technique which we have in the tomorrow session. Then we have collection of data. Collection of data is totally based on the type, that is whether it's a primary data or secondary data. Important thing is that the collection of data is very, very important, whether it is primary or secondary. It is totally based on type of research you have. Then we have execution. Execution, nothing but basically practical feasibility of your research topic in reality. Whether my research topic will help the audience, will help the you could say the reader, or my you could say fellow colleagues, or the researcher, those who wanted to conduct a research in the future base. In that particular case, your research data, your questionnaire, your research design should be formulated in such a manner so that you would actually come to a you could say constructive conclusion after your research process. Then we have analysis. Analysis is very common one. That is, whenever you are analyzing any topic, it is important that you have to convert your data in the form of, you could say table form, you could say pie charts, even other, you could say line graphs to show about the trends in the market. So coding is very important part. Coding is nothing but basically just to give certain symbol or name to your data. Editing is all about some sort of, you could say alteration or manipulation which you have to do. And tabulation, nothing but basically converting the data into tabulated form so that it is easily understandable and readable for the researcher. The next one is hypothesis testing, which I've already covered up about the verifiability or the proven about your research problem or research objective which you have set, whether you are actually able to come to a conclusion about the research objective which you have set in your research studies. Then generalization interpretation, whatever research which you have built, whatever research topic you have decided, whether you are in a condition to actually come to some conclusion or interpretation of your research or not. So interpretation is very important part, because the interpretation of the conclusion part is always works as a climax in a movie. If the climax is not proper, definitely the audience won't get attracted toward your research work. So climax should be very, very important, how you are actually concluding or winding up your research topics. Then we have report. Report basically, because research report, again, we have a topic in this particular workshop on the last day about the research report formation. Research report basically consists of three parts: the preliminary pages, the main text, and the end matter. The preliminary pages consist of basically your title of the research, the date of your research studies, acknowledgement, those who have supported you, and the foreword to your known ones. The next one is main text of research. Main text consists of your introduction of your research topic, summary of finding which you have after a particular research analysis. The main report context is all about the discussion forum, suggestions forum, and lastly, it's all about the conclusion part. So this is all about for the day. And if you have any query, the house is open for you now. Yes, so I'm just taking the questions now. Yeah, Sakti Ranjan Das, we can take the numbers in qualitative research as well. This type of behavioral research study may be the combination of your numbers as well as the, you could say, the conceptual phenomena or the behavioral phenomena which we wanted to assess for. I think, am I audible to everyone? Audience, am I audible to everyone? Because there are some people those are facing problem in terms of my audio. Yeah, any more doubts, please? The house is open for you now. Till the time I'm taking the questions, important information that I will just share the attendance link through the mail only, and that link is open from 9:30 to 11 p.m. So please just mark your attendance. It is very, very important. Okay. To each and everyone, the respected participants over here, please, whenever I'm just sharing you a Zoom link for registration, it is important that please register immediately. After that, you will get an ID and password out of that. And make sure whenever you are registering for that particular that workshop or day 2 and day 3, please kindly register with your email ID which is on Zoom application available. Okay. Yeah, just a minute. There's one question, sir. Why hypothesis is not necessary for descriptive research? Yeah, basically, Devi Veera Swami, because there are sometimes we do not actually come with some hypothesis in advance. Okay, so it is because I'm not saying that you cannot set the hypothesis, but somehow whenever we are going for descriptive studies, usually we do not set the hypothesis at the start. Okay, once we actually have a basic understanding about a particular topic, and then only when we go for applied research or analytical research, at the time we just arises the question of why and how. And at the time we set the question because we have much more clear understanding about what we're going to conclude in that. I hope Devi Veeraswamy, am I clear with this? Yeah, during the pandemic situation, how can an intervention study will be conducted? Is it possible? See, is it possible? It totally based on the limitation, whether if the information, the data is available to you, and if you are approachable to the particular data. Like for example, case study. Let us suppose if I have to conduct one case study on a particular organization, in that case, whether the particular information which is being relevant, which is being possible for me, is it feasible to collect? It is feasible to interpret. It is feasible and acceptable, you could say, on the legal ground as well. So on all such ground, basically you have to check the verifiability and feasibility of such research topics. Yes, I think Yogeshwari Sridharan, am I clear with this? Yeah, fine. I have few more questions now. Then we have Sushodhan Anand. So which Sushodhan Anand, which research type of research would be suitable for you? Definitely, I'm going to you could say give one topic or one assignment to you for that. First of all, it is very important that your thoughts should be very clear about what research you're gonna to actually formulate. Okay, so type of research is again the later stage. First of all, you need to clear about what type of research you gonna to conduct, which discipline you want to target, which domain you belongs to, or whatsoever. Whether particular research topic you chosen, which is your area of interest or not. Okay, so the hunger about searching about anything new, it should be at that particular level of, you could say, the confidence, the passion in the mind, the mindset of that particular researcher should be very, very clear. Sushodhan Anand, I think, am I clear with this? Jayashree, this particular statistical test is not the part of this particular workshop, okay? Because we have a separate workshop after this particular part in which we will talk about only hypothesis testing, how this particular testing can be used in the research studies. First of all, we have to set about a research problem. Once we set the research problem on the basis of research problem, Satyaranjan Das, once we had this research problem, definitely you can design your hypothesis. And once you have the hypothesis, definitely you can apply various statistical tool in your research. Then research question, research objective is, you could say, somehow similar. But when it comes to research question is basically all the raw form or the multiple question in your mind. But research objective is basically more precise and the focal point which you're going to cover in your research fund. I think Satyaranjan Das, am I clear with this doubt as well? Yes, ma'am. Basically, Munmun Lahiri, you have to actually go for hypothesis because as we talk about the qualitative research, the qualitative research is somehow, you could say, not acceptable or not, you could say, promisable or not prominent in terms of giving proper conclusion. So it is always advisable that you must actually, because if you have a very good experience in the past about your research work, definitely you can go for setting the hypothesis, and you can go for a particular hypothesis testing only once you have very good base or knowledge about the particular part. Then we have Surunayak Mudavat, if I'm pronounced correctly. Primary data is basically first-hand data which you collected from, you could say, questionnaire, interview, observation, or your own personal experiences. So that is all about your primary data. And second data, which is already available in the form of books, in the form of journals, in the form of e-library, government record. So that would be the part of your second data. I think, am I clear with this? Jayashree ma'am, I'll share the notes to you. Okay, don't worry for that. I'll just mail one good ebook to everyone about from where you can actually just create a base of a research. Krishna Chaitanya Pillai, basically the content or the subject theme of this particular research, which I've already explained you, because tomorrow we have a session on research problem, research design and sampling. Then we have a topic on the research report formation and questionnaire designing. So this is the basic theme of this particular workshop. It will give a particular, you could say, technical understanding and technical clarity about the research topics or research methodology. Ma'am, which test to apply? It totally depends on, Pooja Rani, it totally depends on type of research information which we have. Okay. So in the case of type of information which we have, in that particular case, it is very important that the data which is available to you, and as per the data or the variable which is available to you, you can apply for different type of test. Because whenever you apply any statistical tool, it's totally based on the input information available to you, because each and every test don't suit to each and every type of data. You have to first of all know about your variables, and then you can select upon which particular methodology will be best suitable to you. When you talk, Nisha R, basically when you talk about research model is nothing but the blueprint. And that blueprint is always maybe conceptual and maybe theoretical as well. Because conceptual and theoretical is all about basically learning about a basic ground. Let us, for example, if there are certain students available with me right now, if they want to start their research work, so how I can suggest them, how I can guide them, is at least start reading about a particular topic in which you have a research, which you have an interest actually is all about. So interest topic, the topic of curiosity is basically create your conceptual or theoretical framework. The framework could be analytical when you are going for in-depth analysis. I think Nishar, am I clear with this? Okay. Yeah, main text content I have shown. Yeah, Mr. Ramesh. Yeah. After that, no, Shakti Ranjan Das, basically, when we set about hypothesis, usually it totally depends on the constraint which I told you about the time constraint, money constraint, or feasibility constraint which we have. If you do not have any time and money constraint, if you have a sufficient time available to conduct a research, you can set n number of hypotheses. But make sure your hypothesis should justify your topic. You have to justify your title, your theme of your research. So usually when you talk about the basic type of or number of hypotheses, usually we include 2 to 3 for a particular primary research, but you can set at least 10 to 20 hypotheses as well. Totally depends on the type of a research and the volume of or the quantum of data which is available to you. Yeah, thank you. Then we have, okay. So it totally depends on the credibility of the sources. I think I'm giving the queries, solving the queries of Krishna Chaitanya Pillai. Whenever we have lot of data available on any of the topic, any research topic, first of all, it is important that you always trust on credible sources, on authenticated sources. If you, for example, if you're going to study on the banking practices or the banking information, definitely you have to collect the data only from the bank information on the bank websites. Okay, so it is very important that the credibility of the source, authenticity of the source is very, very important. Okay. Nagamani, basically, when I'm talking about the number of literature review, definitely there is no thumb rule available about the number of literature review. Okay, whenever you are just wanted to know about the research gaps, the conceptual gap or the methodological gap, definitely it should be optimum to at least 5 to 10 research paper which you have to go through thoroughly for that. Yeah, attendance link I'm just giving you just after this conclusion of this session. Literature survey, sir, basically Radha Apishetty, literature survey is all about basically to know about the background study about a particular topic. Background study is all about the historical aspect about a particular research. Yes, Radha Apishetty, am I clear with this? Yeah, fine. So thanks a lot to everyone for attending this particular session. Make sure, again, I'm just repeating that my word. Please, I'll share the link again in around 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Please do register on that. After registration, you have, please make sure you have to mention your email ID, which is available on Zoom link or on your Zoom actually. Just mention email ID, name and surname. You will get one more mail from the Zoom about the meeting ID and meeting password. Okay. And you just do register. In case of any problem, please try to resolve it on the night basis only, please, because at the late hours, at the close of, you could say, start of the session, it is very difficult to entertain such queries actually. Okay. Jivita J, research gap is nothing but basically research which is already been done in the past, and what this whatever you could say topic which they didn't cover yet, So you are just taking, you could say, the topic which they didn't cover in their study, and you are starting working on such topic, because there is always, you could say, certain loopholes, certain, you could say, lacunas in the past studies, and then you can just improve more your research topic accordingly. Jivita ji, am I clear with this? Yeah. So thanks a lot to everyone. If you, in case if you have any doubt, you can just post your messages in the through, actually I have also shared one my Insta ID as well to you. You can, because I don't use much about that particular WhatsApp, so you can post your message on this Insta ID as well. Along with that, in case of any official query, you can drop a mail as well on the same email ID. Literature survey, ma'am, it totally depends on, until and unless you didn't find any, you could say, research gap, you didn't find the research question, till the time you have to go for your literature survey. Because ultimately things should be qualitative. Things should be, you could say, pinpointed, and focus should be there on your research work. Okay, Radha, I appreciate you. Am I clear with this? Yeah, I'm sharing the attendance link just within 5 minutes of time. So thanks to everyone for joining the session. Tomorrow again, we'll catch you at 8:30. I'll just start this particular meeting at 8 o'clock, but we'll start by 8:30 so that we have a 30 minutes of gap to resolve all such technical glitches. Thanks a lot to everyone. We'll catch you tomorrow at the same time.